I'm really excited about cutting a Ferrari bumper.
A bagged Ferrari in Houston?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can you picture that, man?
Man, I'm excited.
I'm not real sure why most people are afraid to do anything to these cars.
It's like any other car, it just has a dancing horse on it, you know?
Has nothing like I've ever seen before.
We got a really cool GTO we're working on, totally custom.
And let me guess, that thing is gonna be low to the ground.
I didn't even have to say that.
You ready for this? Oh my God, this looks sick.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
How you doing, man?
How's it going?
It's a cool car you got, man.
I like it.
You know, it's a cool day when a customer rolls into the shop with a new car that's already really unique. You know, I'm really excited for the custom that we can bring into this Ferrari F430.
What are you doing with this thing on the north side?
Man, you know, I've had this car for a little bit, Bill, and I kind of wanted to make it unique and make it my own and something different. And I know you're the person to come see for it, so I was just kind of seeing what we could do with this thing.
Just a Ferrari riding around just ain't cool enough for you, huh?
No, I got to do some stuff that I like to see on it.
Right.
What I really like about the Ferrari F430 is the looks of it. The sound is absolutely amazing. As soon as I get a car, usually I like to take the stock aspect of it away and make it customized. Wanted just to look a little bit more aggressive and just a little different flavor than what it has currently.
Personalize it, make it your own, and make it stand out.
Absolutely.
You know, I've seen you rolling up, man, it's a beautiful car, don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
But it's lacking a little bit in the front, man. So there's a little bit of room for improvement up here.
Okay.
It looks too slick.
Needs something.
It does, man. It needs something down here low. What do you think about building a new front lip underneath here, bringing it out a little bit? Couple of inches.
Yeah.
I mean, it just comes all the way out the side, too, maybe bent up on the edges. I think that'd just wake the whole front of your car up.
I agree.
That way, when it's coming at you, man, people are just like, dang, here it comes.
I like that.
You know, one of the obvious things we have to do is upgrade the wheels and tires.
For sure.
And if we're doing that, let's step it up to a 20-inch, man, to really make it stand out.
That would look awesome.
Well, something like that is a must on this car.
Okay.
And you got to get the stance just a little bit lower, too, right?
Yeah, I agree.
All these streets around here aren't made for a car like that.
No, it's not.
A low car that we're gonna make even lower with a new front lip, right?
Yep.
So what do you think about putting air suspension on this so you can just drop it on the ground? Then you can raise it right back up to get around those potholes.
A bagged Ferrari? You can do that to this?
Man, absolutely, man.
Where do we even put the tank?
Well, that remains to be seen.
Okay.
That's the way to go on this. I mean, to have that adjustability, man, we got you on that. Whether it's a full-size Chevy or a Ferrari, it doesn't matter. Bagging this thing is no problem at all. We'll make it super reliable, make it ride really good. This is what we do here, so, you know, that's not a problem at all.
A bagged Ferrari in Houston? Yes, sir.
Can you picture that, man? Just
Man, I'm
pulling
excited.
up and then dropping that on the ground?
Yeah, the visual's there. So front lip, wheels and tires, and an air ride suspension on this thing.
You wanted something to set you apart from everybody else, right?
I did.
Well, it don't get any cooler and more personalized than that, right?
Man, I'm super excited. That's gonna look amazing.
You ready to get it going?
I'm ready.
Let's make it happen.
All right, Bill.
Man, it's gonna be cool.
You know, there's no argument. Ferraris are a cool car, but they all pretty much look the same. Right out the box, you can go purchase this car and instantly be a lot cooler. But, you know, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna park theirs right next to you and just be the exact same. Surpassing the normal quality, the normal engineering, you know, they go above and beyond on that. You know, they exceed every expectation on that. But when it comes to customization, that's where we go above and beyond. Most people, when they have a high-end car like this and they want to customize it, they put wheels and tires on it, maybe wrap it. That's not going to cut it. You know, the owner, he wants some actual customization on this. He wants something a little bit more. He's in the right spot. I got a thing or two in mind. I'm not real sure why most people are afraid to do anything to these cars. You know, if you want a cool car, you do what it takes to make a cool car.
Yeah, you don't get these in the shop too much, right?
Not at all, man. What are we gonna do to this?
We're known for air suspension.
Of course.
That's our thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's what he wants. He already got a super cool car that's already low, but he wants it lower.
Man.
Right? But you gotta have that adjustability to drive it around Houston.
Yeah, Houston's like the worst place ever to have a car like this. The roads are terrible.
Man, yeah, dragging that bumper off, that would hurt. So definitely having that ride height adjustability to get that look or to have that clearance would definitely be a nice option to have in a very expensive car like this.
It's good to be in the air suspension business in Houston.
Yeah.
Right?
And the hard part is figuring out how to run all these lines and everything.
Well, I know one thing, we're not putting the air management back here.
No, mount the tank right here on top of the engine.
I don't think so.
You know, not only that, he wants a lot more aggressive look on the front end. So we're gonna build a new custom front lip out of aluminum.
Oh, so even lower.
I don't know what it's gonna be yet. It's kind of be dictated to how everything's flowing together once we start building it. To top it all off, we gotta have those new wheels and tires.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna set the stance off, give that nice look to it, kind of aggressive.
You know, this is gonna be real cool, man. There definitely won't be another one like this around Houston.
I don't know about you, but I'm super excited to see one of these things on the ground. That's gonna be something right here.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, man, y'all ready to get on our first Ferrari?
Yeah,
Not intimidated.
something new, something different. You know what I mean?
Just like anything else, though. We're gonna get after it, get it done, and make it happen, and make it safe to be on the road.
This thing will probably go up so high that we need to get a 6-foot ladder. I can put a whole nother Ferrari on top of it. All right, first things first with just about everything we do. We'll get the wheel out of our way, get all the wheels off. That way you get to what you're working on. You got all your room. There's nothing in there anymore. I already got that one. I was just making sure y'all were paying attention.
You know, one of the cool things about working here is being able to see all the different kind of suspension components on all the different makes and models of vehicles.
Is it 18 or
19.
19?
Actually take it apart, see how it works,
Oh, yeah.
modify everything. We're just not gonna stop till it's just right.
There's my Ferrari strut coming out of my Ferrari. Going on to my Ferrari table. We'll get some measurements in here. We'll figure out what we got. That looks longer than 14 inches. It is. It's 17 inches. Here are the stock struts that we pulled out of the Ferrari. A front and a rear. You can see they're different lengths. These are adjustable. So this is a shock and an airbag in one. This is why they call it a strut bag. But we'll start off with making it match these measurements here, throw them back in the car, and then if we want it to go lower, we can pop this guy out, adjust it up higher, and then once we get done later with running plumbing and all that stuff, he'll have the additional 5 inches of travel from wherever it's set to lowest to the highest point. So these things are actually easier to work on than what most people would think, because what we did here in an hour would take me 14 on something else. You know, now running all the lines and figuring out routing and all that stuff, that's gonna be tricky. These cars, like Lambos, Ferraris, a lot of these real low cars, they'll have these belly pans completely covering the whole underside of the cars. All your members and rockers and everything. This keeps all that stuff safe. Plus, the aerodynamics keeps the wind from getting up underneath the car. So we're gonna take this stuff loose, let it hang, and then Jamie and I will be able to see exactly where to run these lines.
This is actually the front of the motor right here. You can see everything from the front going to the rear. So this is what we're gonna use to route our airlines.
Pop that frunk.
With limited room in this car, because it's a mid-engine car, so there's no room in the trunk. You don't want to put the air tank or air management in the car. This is really the only place to put it. So first thing is start pulling this stuff apart and see what we're working with. Has nothing like I've ever seen before. After I pulled the panel, I can see that it doesn't have a steel piece on the cowl. It's just got this styrofoam. So trying to attach a tank compressor to this right here is definitely not going to work.
So we come up with this little plan here. We make a frame for the frunk here, and then we can mount the tank and everything to this little frame. You want to throw this in that frunk? We got our angle tacked up. We got it fit in the car. Kind of judging what we can do with it. Jamie's gonna go ahead and start making some mounting brackets for this. We'll get the tank put in here, the compressors put in here, kind of play with them, see where we like it, and then we can see what we have to build to make those fit to the frame. That'll look pretty swell, huh? You like that? So we're gonna Slide that guy in there. I'll lay everything out, make sure it's perfect, mark all my holes. I can take this sheet metal out, drill all my holes. Hey, Dustin, can I use your welder?
Yeah.
And then I can put it back in and spot weld it to the angle, grind it, smooth it out, clean it up. Nutsert, any nutserts that I plan on using. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a brace just to straighten the center of it up. Once I put my compressors there and then I mount my manifold, the center of this is gonna wanna sag. All right, so now that I have it all together, you can see the vision come to life. This is like the ideal way of doing this, just because it simplifies everything. I can make everything right here and then just go put it down into the car and plug in my lines and we're in business. All right, it's in. Now it's time to make some braces.
You know, it's not every day we get to bag a Ferrari F430. One of the biggest challenges of the suspension setup is figuring out where all those air lines go.
The struts on the Ferrari have a lot of movement, so you can't run a hard line into the bag. So now that I have my braided line fastened, now I can run my hard line up from the front to the back here. Everything's gonna have to run down the center. I'm gonna have to consolidate as much as I can. Getting that fish through is probably gonna be the trickiest part. Other than that, it's like any other car. It just has a dancing horse on it, you know? There's really nowhere to run this line at all. We're having to fish it through one hole and hope it hits another hole. It's kind of tricky, but it's also fun. Like, I like this part of it. So I got all 4 lines ran from the bags from each corner. They're ran behind this panel right here. So once I get everything installed back in here, I know exactly where I can pop all my holes for my bulkheads. I have this front panel right here that covers the brakes and all that good stuff where our airlines are. So I'm gonna make a little bulkhead right here for our 4 airline bulkheads that we're gonna be using to go from our manifold to each bag. So just take some aluminum, drill my holes here. There she is. It'll be something like that.
So I was strolling through the shop over there a little while ago, checking out that beautiful Ferrari. They're doing a great job on it. I got this bulkhead here. Not bad, but it is a Ferrari, so figured we dressed it up just a little bit better. I'm gonna take a few measurements, draw this up in the computer, then I'm gonna cut a piece out of acrylic. We're gonna have the logo in it, lines around it, just to dress this thing up a little bit so it's not so plain and boring. All right, everything looks good. Let's run it. All right, that was easy enough. Everything lines up good. Get this thing cleaned up a little bit and get it over to Ryan and let him put it on the car.
So I got the little cover back from John. I'm gonna drill some holes here, then I can mount the plate and my bulkheads. Classy. I like the way John's piece gives it a little bit of character.
You know, today, Marcos, a longtime customer, good friend, invited me out to his house to see his car collection, and then we're off to a high-end coffee and cars. We built a Lambo, a Camaro, and a '68 Ranger for him.
Good morning, man.
Good morning, dude.
Man, I appreciate you having me out, Marcos.
No, thank you for coming, Bill, and give us the support like always.
You got quite the collection. How do you pick which one you're gonna drive, man?
Well, man, it's a little hard sometimes, but it's like, best thing to do is just take them all out and take every single one.
You know, Marcos has a really impressive collection, from Lambos, Ferraris, Porsches, and even to Paganis.
Pagani is like art on wheels.
Absolutely, man.
It's kind of like what you do. This is basically Bill on the hypercars.
Definitely.
So what you got going on the shop, Bill?
Man, we actually got a Ferrari, the F430.
Nice.
Totally custom front bumper, one off.
So now you're working on exotics. I'm glad Cars and Coffee, they give you some inspiration.
Yeah,
I like
man,
it.
yeah.
So what else that you got going on?
We got a really cool GTO we're working on. Totally custom. I mean, every part and piece has all been touched. We got it all stripped down right now. We got a new frame built.
Mounted a brand new LT4 engine and trans, and this V8 should be getting about 650 horsepower. Now we can get moving on our custom suspension.
And let me guess, that thing is gonna be low to the ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't even have to say that.
Once we finish the suspension, we're gonna move on to building this unique one-off engine bay. Then we can get it off to blast. When it comes back, it's gonna be a ton of body work and a full custom interior and paint. Wheels, tires, and a whole lot more work to do after that.
Man, I'm sure after you guys get done with them, it's gonna be a really, really unique piece like everything that you guys do. Keep that motivation going, and I got a little surprise for you. You ain't driving your truck today. I want you to drive the Ferrari today, bro.
Man, let's get it.
Now that we have the custom chassis built and mounted on the GTO, today's the day. Ryan's getting started on the suspension.
So we got our Willwood spindles and brakes in and everything today. I'm getting it level, making sure my spindle's level, my tie rod end is level, getting it centered exactly where we want it to be. See where my wheels turn. It's a good looking wheel, I like it. Got this little half by half right here and tack it into place, make a little mock-up. Just like that. Now we have this point to this point, and we know exactly where it needs to be to have that wheel centered and the spindle in the right spot. So we got the A-arm off the car. First things first, we tack these guys here. Now that this is all tacked in place, what I'm doing now is just drawing me some lines. That way I can pull all my measurements off of all this right here. That way, whenever I do my driver's side, I can duplicate it. I cut this stuff off, put my new ball joint cup on that's not all cut up and dinged up and everything, and then I can start making my arms. Man, the control arms came out really nice. I like the way it looks with that rolled pipe like that. Way better than just straight run, normal stuff. Now that the lower's in, we got it set up. We can start working on our upper control arm. So I got the upper control arm bolted in right now. Got our upper and lowers done. Already got a mirror too on the table, so we can jump on the other side and start doing that, knock the steering out, and get all the rest of this stuff done up here in the front.
On the bigger builds like the 68 GTO, I consider every step forward a big step. And right now, we're almost done with the front suspension.
The last little part of the front suspension is mounting the coilovers. So we got our control arms notched out. We got our thick wall DOM. So we're gonna place this, weld it in the arm itself. Then our coilover will have a place to mount to. So these washers in here simulate our coilover width, weld it all in place, slip the all thread out, and we got our place for our coilover to mount on the lower control arm.
Now we're gonna move on to our upper mount, and that's gonna go on the top of the frame. We'll have it come over a little bit so that our coilover spring never rubs or impedes throughout the travel of our suspension. We'll get some tabs drawn up, transfer that to metal, come and try it out. So I got all our tabs cut out on the bandsaw. This is all done by hand, so there's little differences between every one. So I went ahead and stacked them all up on the table, clamped them down, and then I'll buff them all at the same time so that they're all identical whenever we go to put them on the car. Even though they're handmade, hand-built, they'll still be all identical. We got our template with our hole location in it. We're gonna put that on here, center punch every piece, and then drill those to 5/8 for our bolts on our coilovers. I'm just stepping up the sizes as I go. Got our upper coilover brackets cut out, cleaned up, looking nice. We're gonna get them on the frame, see how everything fits.
Got the control arms done, coilovers mounted, front suspension is a wrap.
We've been bagging cars for about 30 years now, but this is the first time we ever run airlines on a Ferrari. And this is part of the challenge and the fun of working on this thing.
All right, so we got the pan wrapped. I'm just gonna put the tank, the compressors, the manifold, everything, get it all bolted down. Looks good, time to throw it in the car. So I got my tray in. I'm gonna run my electrical through right now. Putting the tape there so I can mark my holes where they need to be drilled instead of marking a black mark on black carpet. Probably one of the best ideas I've ever had. It's time to do some airlines now. It's the cool part. I just get like a rough measurement of the route that I want to go and start bending. If I like it, keep it, move on to the next one. Whenever you open this, the first thing they're gonna look at is the lines. So if you just got a bunch of plastic line throw in there, it's just gonna ruin the whole look of it. You're doing a hard line is a really slick idea, but you can mess that up too. You can start somewhere and kind of have a good idea of what you want, but what you think is gonna work is not gonna work and you gotta scrap it and start all over. Really, it's just aesthetics, kind of trying to continue the look of whatever you are building at the time. Trying to find a good groove to get in, and once you get into that, and everything just seems to kind of start falling in place. So I got all the airlines done, coming from my manifold up to the bulkhead on the firewall. Looks real clean. Got their logo, got all the Ferrari stuff in here. Nice little display whenever he pops the hood open. All I gotta do is just plug up my accessory wire, put air in the bags, make sure I don't have any leaks, and we get this thing on the road. You ready for this? Woo-hoo! Man, this thing's good to go now. It'll handle all the roads and the driveways and anything else. Then it'll look real cool doing it.
You can see somebody's already fixed this. These things are super low to the ground. Looks like it's shoved across a couple of sidewalks, but now we ain't gonna have that problem with the suspension being adjustable. Drill.
After being around all those Ferraris with Marcos, I got to thinking about the best ways to changing up that front bumper. We want something really, really cool, so I'm gonna have Jamie make the lip out of aluminum and make it a lot more aggressive.
Okay, so I got the skid pans taken off now. Next, I need to get my dimension for where our skid plate's gonna go from the front that we're making. Once I get that cut out, go ahead and sand this edge. Put it up on my jack stands right here. So I'll put these in the corner real quick. You know, it's real sharp. It's about to save my eyes. So Bill's got this mocked up right here real quick.
We used the pieces that we cut off the bottom of the factory bumper for our template to trace. So Jamie's about to cut this out, and we'll see how it fits.
Putting some dish soap on here actually helps when you're cutting aluminum because the aluminum gets hot. This will make it not cake up on your blades. So you know it's got multiple purposes. Clean the dishes, you can cut aluminum, wash ducts, you know, does it all.
You know, you can't really just put this piece of aluminum underneath the car because it's all wavy. So we're gonna screw this aluminum tubing. It's extruded so it's perfectly straight. Let's see if that works. I'm gonna take this, put it underneath the car, and that should be a nice straight edge to build everything off of. We're about to attempt to do this. I've never cut a Ferrari bumper all up. So I don't know what's behind this. I don't know the inner workings of the framework. The thought process is cut this up and then figure it out along the way.
I'm really excited about cutting a Ferrari bumper. Well, the reason we're doing it this way is because we don't get very many Ferraris in here. We don't have a template for this.
Shoot, that's most stuff we do. You know, you have that general idea, but one idea feeds on the other, then you eventually connect all the dots and something special will come out on the end.
I have to say, we're past the point of no return. All right, everything looks good. It's all symmetrical. Now we can actually start bringing Bill's idea to life. So the most important thing is now I can say I cut up a Ferrari bumper.
Anytime we're creating something we've never done before, like a whole new lip for the bumper of the Ferrari, it takes a whole team to figure it out, and that's definitely true today.
I want to give the bumper a little more squared look at the bottom. And there's nothing there to attach this aluminum to, so I'm going to make a quick little template. We'll transfer this template onto fiberglass. Then we can bolt the fiberglass to the aluminum. Then we'll start molding the fiberglass that's on the aluminum to the bumper itself.
So now we have our base here, our fiberglass laid out right where we want it. We can't just press the fiberglass right to the paint. You gotta have something for the fiberglass to adhere to. So we're gonna make this nice edge rough so we can put the fiberglass on it, smooth it on out. Gonna grab that side and help me throw it up here.
Cleve, move. I think we're gonna leave these air intake pieces because the radiators for the car are actually right here. So we can't restrict this at all. Establishing what that opening is gonna look like is gonna be the first step. Then I'm gonna have John Burgess cut out some acrylic trim pieces, and then we're gonna incorporate the trim pieces into the bumper and build out from that.
Oh, well, you know, it's never a dull moment to shop. Come over here, you can find cars cut in half, or you could find a Ferrari with the front end cut off of it. I got a template. I see I've got some parts to make, so we'll go get on the computer and do some drawing. So I've got to make a ring, and the purpose of this ring is somewhere to hold the mesh grill and have somewhere to body work to. First thing we'll do, take a picture of this, import it into the software, draw over top of it. That way we'll be able to take it, size it to make rings, plugs, any part we need. Everything's good to go, so we'll get some 1/4-inch acrylic into the machine. We got to focus the laser beams. All right, we're ready to cut. And go. Look at her go, man. Ferrari bumpers in the making. Backways ready. All right, so these will work. Take some glue them together. That's gonna leave us a lip in here to be able to inset our grill mesh. So we'll get these over to the car.
You know, John made me a cool little template. We just vice grip it right here and vice grip it right here. We're gonna get our outer dimensions, and then we got a nice, clean, crisp cut mark for it.
So now that Bill and I have got the outer edge scribed out, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting this out. Get this piece removed so we can start bonding our new outline on here to get the shape of this front bumper. This is actually how the bumper mounts right here. So I'm gonna have to recess these pieces, then we'll build off that. It's starting to take shape now. You can see the frame. That's where our mesh is gonna go once we get our mesh on. There'll still be plenty of air here, still have a guard over it so nothing busts the radiator, and it's gonna look a whole lot better like you ain't seen one of these look.
We finished up the front suspension on the GTO. Now it's time to move to the rear.
All right, so we got our rear end in. We got it mocked up. It's centered. It's exactly where we need it to be in order to start building our suspension. We like to use these tabs because I can level it. I can put it straight down. I can put it at a different angle if I want it to. So starting off with here, and then we can take our measurements from here to the frame rail for our link bar. That's one. Now, just do that 3 more times. So the reason to use a right hand and a left hand threaded heim here is so you can have your adjustment in your forelink without having to take your bolt out and do like all that whole extra step. This allows you to just bust that jam nut loose, and then you can adjust it whichever way you need. So, man, this will have a ton of adjustment in it. This is ideal for doing this stuff like right here.
We're gonna drill some holes through the frame for some frame mounts.
The reason that we got the DOM in here with all thread is to ensure that our 2 mounting points and the tabs, everything lines up. We'll draw 2 lines on there, and that'll tell us exactly where we need to put our tabs for our lowers and our uppers. We can line them up, square them, and they're right on the money. They're perfect. All right, so now that we got the forelinks finished up, we got our tabs, we're gonna add a cross member in here. We're gonna take some measurements, we'll cut some pipe, clean it up, make some bends, and hopefully we can make that match right on the money. the reason why we throw the level on here is if we just put that in there and it's hanging like that and I just go bend it, then your bends are gonna be way off. Nothing will line up, it'll look bad. We don't want that. So we use our level here, and then whenever you bend this side, shouldn't have any issues. All right, I got this in here. Now we got it bent. I got some marks made here with the soapstone. I got it kind of level, just kind of eyeballed it and got it pretty close. So I'm gonna have to trim it again one more time. And then we could do our final cleanup and adjustments and get it tacked in. All right, so we got our center cross member tacked in. It flows into our existing pipe that we already had there. Looks good, everything flows. It's gonna clear our drive shaft. It's gonna clear the rear end over here, the tubs, the floor, everything. It's all good. I like the way it looks.
You know, a lot of times we go with air suspension on our builds, but it really depends on what the customer wants. So we're going with coilovers on the 68 GTO because that's what the owners prefer on this build. The only thing is we don't have enough room.
We got the perfect place for the coilover, but it's not a perfect place because there's no room for it. The floor pan of the car, we need to cut out that and give us the room we need for the coilovers. This is the last of the pipe in the whole shop that we found and had to clean it up, so we can't miss up. Hit that button right there.
That one?
You can say you did something today.
I did something today. I bent a piece of pipe.
Tack it up. Good job there, buddy.
Thanks.
This is basically gonna hold the whole weight of the rear of the car, so it's gotta be super strong.
Got some tabs drawn up here. These are lower coilover mounts that go on our axle. I'm gonna have Jesse burn them out. A lot faster than me doing it by hand, for sure.
So Jesse got us hooked up on some bracketry. We got our lowers, got our upper mount, all made out of 1/4-inch material. Next thing is just placing it in the perfect spot. Do a little welding, that's a wrap.
All right, we got our lower mounts on the axle. They're good to go. Put our coilovers back on and do the top mount.
Okie dokie. Got it, man.
Now that the suspension is done, I'm really getting excited for what's next. We're about to fabricate something in the engine bay that's completely one of one. It'll really make this build stand out when you open up that hood. Then it's to body and then full paint. John over in Interior definitely has his work cut out for him. By the time it's done, just about every guy in the shop will have put some time in on this thing. And it'll definitely show.
You know, the Ferrari F430 is gonna get the all hands-on treatment just like the GTO. The custom bumper started out as a metal fabrication job, but once we started cutting that fiberglass, John jumped in and knew exactly what to do.
They got the front end of this car cut wide open. They called me in. It's time to fiberglass stuff together. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take the acrylic rings that I made, and I'm gonna attach some fleece to the back side of that. It's good and stretchy, so I'm just gonna get it glued down. That fleece is gonna give us something to create the contour and the shape that we need, and it gives us something to hold our fiberglass. I'm gonna make sure I get this stretched good enough so it's not going to sag. All right, so kind of see where we're headed. We'll get that piece where it needs to be, held in place. Once that's done, lock it in place good and solid. Time to mix the goo. We're using a fiberglass reinforced body filler that will bond to the fiberglass bumper and to the acrylic. So when it's in place, it'll be in place. So in order to maintain the curve in the front of the car and all that geometry, I'm gonna reuse the pieces that they cut off. So we'll cut this here on this corner, get it matched where we want it, and we'll be able to fill in all the way through here. It's pretty important to make sure you do all your trimming a little at a time, get everything exactly where it needs to be, because we need the nose of this car to be symmetrical. Once that's done, I'll get some fiberall, get them locked in place. There's some of that down there. I've got some foam that is resistant to chemical. Don't have to worry about fiberglass or anything melting it or anything like that. I'm gonna get it in here, use that as a filler to bridge the gaps. Once I get that, we'll get some chop strand mixed up. Let's do this without making a huge mess. Filling this in with chop strand was definitely the way to go. Not only does it fill it in, but it gives it a lot of strength, so we won't have to worry about any crack out or anything like that. We know it's not gonna move now, so the next step is get this ring positioned where it needs to be. Yeah, just like that. Once that's done, we're gonna wet this out with some fiberglass resin. What that's gonna do is it's gonna give us a nice, hard, solid base. So once the resin dries, our parts will be stuck where they need to be, so we can start laying up some fiberglass mat to give this plenty of strength. We're gonna let that get good and dry, be nice and strong. Once that's done, fill up a couple more spots on the bumper. See if I can get this in here without making too big of a mess. I like to work in the tight spots. And for those of you following along at home, that's step 193. I'm gonna go around and wipe over the top of this with some filler. Just using my trusty razor blade here as a piece of sandpaper. It won't hurt the acrylic, and it keeps these corners nice and square for me. Now, you know, it was a lot of work to get to this point, but it turned out looking pretty good. So next stop, body shop.
And that, my friend, is how you take off a Ferrari bumper. Bill and John did a good job at forming everything for me, so it's my turn to go ahead and beautify everything. First, I'm gonna take like 36 grit to knock down all the rough edges. Finish up with 80 grit, go straight into blocking and primer. Probably finish off with a 180, primer again after I get it in the booth and get a nice shiny black Ferrari paint job.
Some shops just focus on one type of car, but this shop, you never know what's coming through that gate.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't just do restos or stick to one certain era of vehicle.
We're always breaking something apart that's brand new that nobody's taking apart.
One day we're working on Marcos's Lambo, and then the next day we're turning a water truck into a barbecue pit with a cooler in the back.
Yeah, and like taking that old milk truck and making it a showstopper.
We had like a Lotus and a Porsche.
We got the Grumman, the new electric Lightning, you know, the International.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is, new, old.
And sometimes we get a Ferrari.
Yeah, being able to get your hands on all these different types of vehicles, you get to see what they've done, and you can take that and put it into another build later on down the road.
No matter what make, model, gear, you know, we're definitely gonna find a way to make it look cool, make it stand out, make it one-off.
Whatever comes through the gate, we're all in.
That's it.
The body work is done on the custom bumper for the Ferrari F430. So Patrick's gonna get it ready for paint.
So now I'm gonna go ahead and get the paint mixed. It's just a regular black, but it's made by Ferrari, so it's a little different. We got like 4 different toners in that color to make this black. The first one is black, the second one is weak white, then you have a yellow and a red. So it's just small amounts of each color to complete a black for the Ferrari. This black actually being so dominant, I don't have to put maybe 2 coats on it. It's a little bit different working on a Ferrari bumper. Of course, it's very expensive, but it's been a great adventure for me. The neat style and the new concept that Bill and John came up with. So I'm gonna make it look real pretty. Go straight into the clear coat process. All right, I've got my last coat clear on. Looking spectacular. Everything's proportioned, everything's got a nice gloss. After I let it bake for a couple hours, I'll go ahead and get it down and get it on the Ferrari.
The paint is dry, so now we're gonna add that mesh, along with getting the custom wheels and tires on. You know, customizing a high-end car like this definitely comes with a lot of risk for sure. but the reward is building something different that nobody else has. What's up, Ian?
What's up, Bill? How's it going?
Man, doing good, man. What's happening this morning?
Man, I'm excited to get this car back.
Ian, you know, when you came in, you had a little problem. You had a Ferrari F430, just like everybody else's. You know,
Basic.
everybody's got one of those. You want to be different, right? Well, me and the guys have been busy at the shop. We got you hooked up, man.
Man, I'm excited, Bill. I'm so ready to see this car.
I know you've been waiting a while. Patiently.
Yeah.
Come on, Ryan.
Oh my God. Bill, this looks sick. Are you serious right now? Look at that front bumper, man. Oh my God. What? Oh man. Ooh. That's like music to my ears right there, Bill. Y'all went way over the top and like killed this thing. Thanks, man. That is awesome.
I think he likes it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I can't get enough of it. I don't even know where to begin.
I know when we talked about you just wanted like a front lip to change up the front end a little bit. Right. Well, got it in the shop, started looking at it a couple different ways we could change some things subtly, but in this case, subtle went out the window. We got after just chopping the factory bumper totally up. Made the openings a lot bigger, a lot more aggressive, put some mesh in there.
So this is the factory bumper?
Yeah.
It's factory bumper.
It looks completely custom.
If you don't know what you're looking at, it just looks like a regular bumper, but this thing was in like 30 different pieces.
That's exactly why I come to you guys. Y'all make factory-looking pieces, but yet they're custom, which sets it apart from everybody else.
Now all the other Ferrari dudes got to compete with you.
Exactly, man. I love that.
It was super cool. You know, you got the new wheels and tires on there. They give this car a really cool look. And behind those wheels and tires is an airbag now.
Man, a stance bagged out Ferrari is awesome.
And man, it gets it down low. I'm sure it's gonna ride well.
And you know you're gonna be turning everybody's heads when you roll in and slam it, you know what I mean? It's gonna look so much cleaner.
Man, I love it. The lowness that it gives, the aggressiveness that it gives, just really sets it apart from everything that I've seen.
And the advantage of that also is protecting this new front bumper. You can raise it right up off the ground.
Yeah.
The air struts in there worked out perfectly.
Awesome.
Ian, if you're liking that, you're probably gonna like underneath the frunk. Show him what's underneath the frunk.
You're gonna like that.
Oh my gosh. This is incredible.
Isn't that sick?
It looks super clean.
Well, that's what you want, man. You don't want something just thrown in there, right?
No, that looks incredible, guys. That looks like it was made for this car. And then the little details, the lines. Is that a Ferrari badge? Wow. Y'all went over the top on this.
Yeah, like you said, we could have just thrown that stuff in there and ran the plastic line that it comes with and all that, but man, honestly, this is my favorite part. The reaction's always nice.
You can tell the amount of work that you put into this. It's really a piece of art. It just looks incredible.
Appreciate that, man.
Customizing the F430 for me was something that I wanted to do. I called a few other shops and they didn't really look at the same vision that I had for it. When I called Extensive, they knew exactly what I wanted for this car. I think y'all knocked it out of the park.
You definitely got a one-of-a-kind now.
Straight killed it.
You know, just riding stock just ain't cool. And either it being a Chevy truck or a Ferrari, my guys step up every single time. Ian, get this car out there, show all them purists they don't know what they're talking about. Man, enjoy it.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Let's get to it.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry, but I got to look. Oh, my God.